Hail, hail, the guys are here. Okay.
Bob,
Yeah.
I have an
Yeah.
interesting items you can pass on to the dean. I got phoned by a real estate agent half hour ago asking me to list my property at 891 South Walnut Street. So naturally,
What were they going to offer you something?
no, they just wanted me to list the property.
Some realtor called him wanting to list his property at 891 South Walnut Street. Oh, I think it was Lord. What's his name? It's right there.
Well, we have all kinds of things going around here. I still get calls from, they want to paint my house, and I say, sure, come on by and do it. And I really don't own a house anymore, so I don't know what's going to happen when they ever go over there. They don't check that kind of stuff. Nadine told me she will not be joining us today. She's got other business she's got to take care of. But we will have Judy and Kim on the call with us. And so if we have any questions, and they'll have their responsibility to either answer or carry the messages forward to them. So don't feel shy. Let's see, waiting just a minute or two before we have a quota here. So let's see. Oh, good. I see you here online here, Barbara, with us. I got some questions for you today. Okay, so
Okay.
it has to do with neighbor committee. You're still
With the what?
part of that? The Good Neighbor Committee.
Okay.
You're still part of that?
Yes. No,
Okay.
I'm on the Presence and Enrichment Committee and it comes under there. I could probably help.
I don't understand all of that, but it's okay. Okay, I think we got enough to get started here. We got an odd number of 15 people. Okay. See, I want to just go over a few things. We had the week we had a the flu shots on Wednesday for the regular kind of flu, and a lot of people were there if they could qualify, if they had medical insurance to pay for it. Otherwise, they have to go get it through their doctor or their HMOs or something like that. Nadine mentioned in her memo that we had one positive test from last week's testing, and I asked her, she mentioned that it was a person who had already been vaccinated, so it was one of these breakthrough cases again. So it's a matter, I guess, of the individual levels of immunity, because that person, I guess, is showing some symptoms, and they're watching them, and they did a contact tracing to make sure other people, if they were associated with that resident, were notified and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that process is working. Unfortunately, we don't like to have positive cases on our scorecard here for the community, because that slows things down for the state and services to further open things up for us. And that's That's the bad news part of it. Of course, we hope that individual doesn't, get any further symptoms or further issues. You also in the memo remind everybody testing next week is on Tuesday. We went back to Tuesday. So put that on your calendar. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday, if I'm reading it right here, the 28th in the LLC. I don't know why they changed it, but just go along with what we're told to do here. And also on that Tuesday, we just got a memo in our mailboxes today that the front porch is going to be holding a Zoom session on new tax laws, turning lemons into lemonade. But unfortunately, that's going to be running right at the time we're doing the testing. It begins at 10:30 in the morning, and so you should have one of these little cards that's in your mailbox about how to log on to that if you're interested in doing your finding out more about your taxes, and so forth. Let's see. We also had a special happy hour celebrating the first day of October of fall. It went over very well. We had good turnout, not excellent turnout, but good turnout in the lounge, which encouraged staff to say, well, if that's going to happen, maybe we should do some more of that. And the deans did announce they're going to try to do it a few times each month now, where we have hors d'oeuvres and some beverages, but we should be have available to us anyhow soft drinks in the little refrigerator there in the lounge at all times anyhow, because that's part of their services for us. We just don't have someone to serve it to us, and that's sort of, I guess, part of the COVID restrictions, because we can't serve ourselves. But I still think we can go into the refrigerator and get ourselves a Diet Coke or something like that. We don't have the pots of iced tea and fruit punches that we used to. But that would be kind of nice to add to it. The more we can do there, I think the more turnout we'd see in the Red Chair Lounge to not only get things socializing again, but enjoying the freebies, because I know Judy does the best she can, handing out little bags of potato chips and stuff like that. That's not quite the same as it used to be. So hopefully we're going to see more improvements in that area. Let's see, there's a that's about all. That's all in that memo. I wanted to cover a few other things. As you know, I put out a survey on use of the internet, and I'm getting pretty good responses so far. I've got 2,000 responses already this week, but it's due next Thursday. So don't put it off. Get it back and do it and get it back into my mailbox, so you don't forget about it. It's important to, even if you don't use the internet that much, to just say, what your situation is. If you're using it, if you're having problems, if you use it, these are all things that we want to know more about, so we can keep track of what's going on to improve the services. Some people are, showing up that they are having regular problems on the Walnut Village Wi-Fi, and I don't know if they've been reported or they need to be further investigated, but at least we're trying to quantify how big that of an issue is. And then the whole issue about router installation and support, we're trying to get a handle on that. So I'm getting good data. I need to make sure we get as big of a sample as we can. 100% sample, that's kind of optimistic, but anyhow, as much as we can, that would be great. So if you can do it, that's fine. If you have any questions, give me a call or email me. The survey is not that complicated. I try to explain it with a information page, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Does anybody have any questions about the survey? Okay, good. Everybody's quiet today. That's good. The other thing is we are now approaching, or we'll be into October next week, and we have some great events coming up for Oktoberfest, Halloween, and so I just thought I would share a few.
You want me to? Judy's on. Would you like me to
Oh,
share?
yeah, Judy, yeah, sure. You can tell us what we got planned. Yeah.
Okay. Y'all haven't seen your calendar yet, but Lauren and myself have really been working on it. We have a lot coming up. So buckle your seatbelts because here we go. We have a special happy hour starting. We have a special happy hour on Wednesday, October 6th and October 20th. And this is sponsored by Dining Service, and there will be hot hors d'oeuvres. And on the 20th, Jerry Engelhardt will also be playing the piano. Currently, we still can only have piano players. I can't bring any music inside. Carol Ann will also be in the Red Chair Lounge on Friday, October 22nd and 29th. Let's see, we'll just go with the activities first. Thursday, October 14th, will be our Oktoberfest. I have great entertainment coming in between 4 and 5:30 p.m. in the Bistro Courtyard. And then there will be a special dinner. Kim is there, and she can talk a little bit about that because I'm not sure what the dinner will be. But there will be special entertainment from 4 to 5:30 in the Bistro Courtyard. I have Lilies of the West coming in on Saturday, October 30th, and they will be at 4 o'clock, and they too will be in the Bistro Courtyard. I have some other things that are started, that are going to start in the month of October, and they will be on the calendar as well. Chaplain Les on Mondays for the next 4 weeks, the first week of October, and then for the next 3 weeks in the Lifelong Learning Center at 10 o'clock in the morning. He will do a bereavement support and education. It'll be for an hour, and it will be for everybody who would like to attend, and that is bereavement support and education with Chaplain Les. Thursday, October 21st is the Great Shakeout. And I'm sure Judy's going to want to talk about that. That's at 10:21 on Thursday, October 21st. Friday, October 22nd will be our first town hall. Yay, we're getting back to normal. That will be at 9:30 in the PAC. Then on Wednesday, October 27th, the resident council, actually they want to call it a committee fair, and that will be from 10 until 12 noon. There'll be more information on that. Also on Wednesday, October 27th, the library committee is going to be have a presentation by the Orange County Public Library. It will be a discussion period, and that will be at 2 p.m. in the Lifelong Learning Center. And I am sure that Michelle's going to want to talk more about that. Everything I am telling you is going to be on the calendar, which should be out next week. Sign-up sheets will be in the, for you to, sign-up sheets will be put together probably by the end of the week, and they will be in the post. Please sign up if you intend to come to one of these activities. Are you ready for Halloween, everybody? It's going to be bigger and better than last year. We're going to start a little early this year. We're going to start on Friday, October 29th. At that time, we're going to have a pet parade at 10 a.m. in the morning. Dress up your pets, dogs, cats, whatever you have. Bring them down and we'll have prizes and we'll have special treats for them. Then later in the day, you'll have strangers at your door. I can't tell you when because it's going to be a surprise. No candy necessary, but you will have a knock at your door. So please be home sometime in the afternoon and answer your door. Saturday, October 30th, I have the Lilies of the West coming in, and they will be, everybody knows who they are, and they too will be in the Bistro Courtyard, and they'll be here at 4 o'clock. And then comes Halloween, which is on a Sunday, October 31st. We're going to do a couple of things. It's going to be a combined day. It's going to be a combined Halloween extravaganza with Life Enrichment and the Library Committee. At 6:30, starting at 6:30, from 6:30 to 8, there'll be a haunted maze with surprises at every turn. It's going to be bigger and better than last year. And I need help with design, setup, and characters. So if anybody is interested, please make a contact with Life Enrichment. And the Library Committee has already put out a flyer as to what they're planning to do. So make sure you check with that flyer. If you have any questions, Michelle will be more than happy to answer it. I know they're going to have a spooky Halloween contest for stories, and they've got lots of things planned, and you've already received a flyer talking about that. This is just a little bit of what we have planned for the month of October. So no one can say that there's nothing going on at Walnut Village. Please check our Facebook at Walnut Village Retirement, and you'll see some of the things that have happened in the last week. We have lots going on, and we have lots coming up. Everybody in the Life Enrichment, my Life Enrichment department, Lupe and Lauren and myself are working really hard to see if we can get us back to at least a new normal so that there's more activities and events going on. But you know, it's important that we knock on our neighbor's door, invite them to join us, invite them to go to the gym when you're going down there, invite them to go to the swimming pool, invite them to come to dinner. We have gotten in the habit of not coming out of our apartments. And it's important, you know, that we help some of these residents who have become so comfortable staying home to get them back into the community. So really, I'm going to ask our residents to make an extra effort to see if we can't get more of our residents down to participate. We're planning the activities. Now, I just need the residents to come to them. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Judy. You hit my message right on the nail. Just for people who didn't experience it, I'm going to share a couple of photos and a quick things of memories past when we had some great times here. So let's see if I can do this here. So where we are. Okay, here we are. So this is Oktoberfest a couple years ago. Then this is Halloween. And we had all these people who love to dress up, and we had costume contests, and you can see some old faces that we like to remember. And these are some of the clowns around the village. Judy was showing off today that I did too.
I got in trouble for that costume.
Well, we had some great characters and great costumes. This, I got Marina to pose for me here.
And Bob, I have the same group coming back that we did the chicken dance. They'll be our entertainment.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the little German band. Yeah, that's great. This is last year when we were doing it outside. It wasn't the same. We didn't get all the costumes and all that, but we had people going through the spooky garden. We had all these lights and everything else set up. Not as extravagant as we would like, but it was
Wait
fun.
until
What was that?
wait until this year. It's going to be bigger and
Okay.
better.
I'm just showing what we had to watch last year, and a few folks, but it wasn't very well attended, unfortunately. Then we had a little get together in the courtyard, and they did some. I guess it was.
Been a
The
long
library
time
did it.
talking in the courtyard, remember?
Yeah, and they did some gifts or something like that, right? So that was what we had.
After we walked through.
Oh.
We sat and talked for a while.
For October 1st and Halloween, some memories. So we can work on that and try to do better this time. So let's see. Michelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you got planned?
Oh, you mean for, okay, thank you. Well, we have a ghost story writing contest, and that's because it's sort of at the heart, our thoughts of Halloween are at the heart of this whole event, that is the holiday. So it's a way of getting people engaged. And the essays we're asking for, the stories we're asking for are short. They're only a maximum of 3 pages. So a lot of people can come up with something in just 3 pages, hopefully. So we're hoping that it'll be a hot contest where people will have something to say, and that we'll have an event where we'll have some people who have read all the, I guess the due deadline date is the 15th of October. These entries will all be read, and then we'll collect the best ones, and then we'll have people come in, and then we'll have alternating things where we're having a story read, and then people doing refreshments and milling around and socializing, and also we'll have drawings, that is these raffle drawings, and then people will come back, we'll read another story, and then we'll go like that, and we'll go for maybe 3 stories, maybe 4 stories, not too many stories, but we think it'll be a good way for people to be able to relax and enjoy Halloween. So that's about it, really. It's just that we can't tell you all that much. I mean, what else would you like to know? I mean, right now we have our plans, but people will be dressed up, I think.
You just want to get people starting to write those stories, right?
That's right. That's the reason that ad came out, the Halloween ghost story writing contest, that's a preliminary thing to let people know that it's going to be taking place, and that we're looking forward to hearing some really good stories. We have some really good readers, so that the hope is that people will really be able to enjoy this event, and that it'll be spine tingling finally.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Judy, do you want to talk about the great shakeout coming up?
Judy Phillips. You there?
Yes. Is she there?
She was.
Judy
Her,
Phillips.
her audio wasn't there.
There you go.
You're turned off, aren't you?
Chat, she says, can you,
T. Chat.
she
Oh,
must not
read
have
the chat.
audio.
Get your,
Well, let me see.
put your
Yeah,
audio.
her audio's active.
She says her
It's not
mic isn't working.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, you'll have another chance
On mute.
between now and then. We'll just make sure we put it on our calendar then, right? Okay.
They can't hear
Okay.
you.
But,
Babe.
we gotta work on that.
Hey, Bob.
Yes,
hear you.
done.
Halloween is a lot about decorating. And I think I saw today what may be the epitome of Halloween decorating. And I'm going to suggest that if anybody would like to really see something extraordinary, that they go look at it. It's on the corner of Westmont Street and Dwyer, D-W-Y-E-R. It's only a mile from here. If you're out shopping or on your way out, it's not much of a detour to go down that street. In order to reach it from here, it's 1 1/10 mile. You go north on Walnut, north on West Street for about a quarter mile, left on Westmont, and then down the street on the left-hand side. Judy Marsh ought to put the whole bus together because it is so extraordinary. You ain't going to hardly see this no more.
Good.
Okay.
Interesting. Very good.
Put your-
I have another subject I want to bring up, and I don't know where this is going to go and how it's going to strike people. But the State of the State meeting earlier this week, there was some discussion among the residents that we have a lot of new people here. I think they were talking about numbers of 10% of our population has changed, and we're getting more turnover all the time. And the question, I think maybe Patty brought it up, was the new residents aren't really being integrated into our community very well and into our social network also. And that's a tough thing to do because a lot of the COVID restrictions, we don't have the same opportunities to go out and mix, and wearing masks. You can't remember who was that I was talking to, and things like that. So we have a lot more difficulty trying to get to know the people and have them get to know us and do things and chat and mix and so forth. And so it seems like we need to have a lot more community participation by the residents. The staff is doing a great job, but the residents have to, come forward a little more to help work for the community and bring back that spirit that we used to have. I was talking to some people one-on-one, and they said, Walnut Village isn't the same place as it used to be when I came here. A lot of the warmth and friendliness is sort of dying, and you can understand that because of COVID, but it seems like we need to do a lot more. And Barbara, I'm glad you raised your hand because I'm going to ask you a few other questions right now. But go ahead, say what you
Well,
have.
I was not at that meeting, but I am kind of surprised because I'm seeing the new people, the new residents in the dining room with current residents. I'm seeing them quite regularly.
Yeah, that's my impression too.
Well, some of them are and some of them aren't. And some of them, that's their only activity. And besides that, they don't know else what's going on.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I'm suggesting that we need to have more volunteers coming out and trying to help these guys learn. And just like Judy was talking about all the other activities she's providing for us, someone's going to knock on the doors and says, come on down, let's have some fun together. Let's do this and do that together. I don't know if that's happening or not. It may be happening on a small scale, but it's not happening widespread. And there's one lady who just came and is a newcomer, and she's just moved out because she didn't fit in with us, and that seems terrible. And another lady I was talking to, she says, if I didn't have all my roots here, I don't know if I'd pick Walnut Village to stay here. And that was a very shocking thing to me also. Now, maybe, it's not a big thing. It's maybe just a few people feel that way. But if the cracks are starting to show that in our spirit, we need more than just a few cheerleaders. We need to get a whole new spirit committee come back and try to rejuvenate what's going on within the confines of what we can do because of the COVID restrictions. So,
Can I say something?
yeah,
Bob,
sure.
can I say something? We brought back the continental breakfast, not the way everybody wanted it. And Kim, I'm not sure how many breakfasts we put out in the morning. But the reason we started continental breakfast was that we were hoping that the residents would come, eat them, sit there and chat and have a conversation. But instead, what's happening is they're picking up the continental breakfasts and they're going back to their apartments. So obviously that did not achieve what we had hoped for them to, what we wanted the residents to do. Same thing with our happy hour. Granted, it's not the same as it was before, but there's still no reason why people can't congregate and come down before dinner and sit. They can still have their wine, and granted, we don't give them hot appetizers, but we're giving them opportunities to come and to engage with one another. But at this point, I do not know how to get them to do that. And if somebody can give me some suggestions, I am more than willing to do it. When we were doing the Let's Chat early on, when we closed down and we were doing the Let's Chat, residents were inviting more people to come down. And a lot of our new residents that moved in at that time were able to come and meet people, but we're not doing that anymore. And we've got to start making some efforts in some different ways. And if anybody can tell me how to do it, I am more than willing to go ahead and participate, to bring them down, to make them engaged.
Okay, Patty, let's.
I think this is a guess on my part, but I think that one of the things that creates people not staying for the continental breakfast is because of the COVID and the restrictions. We can't have the food out on the counter where people pick up their own like they used to. And by having it in the box, I think it almost looks like it's to go.
It is.
Well, it is.
It is.
Well, no, but that's not what Judy is saying it's intended to be. It's intended, you pick up your box, but you sit in the Red Chair Lounge, you open it up and eat it. But I think that people have a misconception because it's in the box. I think that's creating part of the problem.
I think that I think another thing with that is I've heard, I don't go because I don't get up that early, but people have complained they don't stay because they have to go someplace else to get their coffee.
That's
That's
right. Our juices and everything else. There's really not much other than just taking a muffin and the stuff that's in the box is nothing like the stuff that used to be out there on the table. Little tiny muffins, little this and that, little tiny yogurts and stuff. So I don't even bother to try it. So, and a lot of people have done it, but they're not enjoying it. So I think that whole continental breakfast should be reevaluated. I'm not sure that a lot of people would say, keep it the way it is. You can fix it or forget it. Terry?
Why
Terry,
not just finish the box? Put out,
What was that?
Put the orange juice in a pile, put the yogurt in a pile, put the muffin in a pile, and see what happens.
You can't because of the restrictions because of the COVID. You can't have food sitting out where other people can touch it before you get it.
Why not just
That's
stop
right.
that? I think, Patty, we could look at this a little more deeper, find ways to get around those issues. Because I don't think touching a muffin that's already in a container is going to spread COVID that much, and
Nothing.
so forth. But I'm guessing.
Well,
anyhow,
you're
it-
centering on breakfast though. Why don't you center on the events and that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, the event is sort of falling apart because it's not supported by people who want to have a cup of coffee and a nice English or Danish or English muffin or fresh fruit.
Well, we've all been eating our own private breakfasts for many years before we ever got here. So, I don't think you should worry about that. I think it's influenced by the pandemic and that eventually it's going to pass and we'll go back to normal or something more approximating normal. But people have changed too. So we have our concerns and, but I think that we ought to, that most of,
Parlor games.
what?
Sorry,
What was the question?
excuse me.
Don, go ahead, Don.
I think that one of the real answers down there has been, there's no coffee. Without coffee in the morning, Colleen says I am like a savage walking in the jungle. And I say she's like a sweetheart walking as an angel. But with the need for coffee with dinner, with breakfast, in my opinion, is an American cultural event that we got to look at a little more closely.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know why we can't serve ourselves our own coffee. There must be some way of doing that. I have some other things that Judy put on chat I can read for her. She said she got 4 new residents joining the corral, and she's asked 2 new residents to join the earthquake team. So, but how many residents come to the parlor games? Does anyone can answer that?
I can. It depends upon the day. And I have the parlor games. We started to do the parlor games to see if we could get some of the residents who didn't do anything else to come out and, do trivia. We're playing dominoes. I have anywhere from maybe 7 to 10 people that come, different people every time we do them, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And in a way, it is serving the reason we started the parlor games. We are having some people come out of their apartments who never did come out of their apartments, and it's giving them something to do. Is it a huge success? No. But it is giving some residents an opportunity to do some things that they didn't do before. Going back to the Continental Breakfast, I had a National Donut Day. I had 5 dozen donuts. I ran out of donuts. Everybody came down and had a donut.
Did they have a donut?
But I did have coffee. The question, Judy popped something up. How many new residents came to that? Are coming to parlor games? I can't see the whole thing. I'm talking on my phone.
Yeah.
What was the chat?
How many new residents came to the parlor games?
Parlor games, I have 2 new residents that come every single time to the parlor game.
Yeah, good.
But
Well,
a lot of the new residents though are playing cards, and they're playing bingo. So they are definitely getting out. It's some of the old time residents, some of our vintage residents that aren't coming out, who used to get out of their apartments. That's where my major concern is.
Yes.
Good point.
I think some of them have become discouraged because the continental breakfast isn't the same, the happy hours aren't the same, and so forth. And so they've sort of given up on that. Barbara?
I think we've all gotten very used to staying in our apartments. there are things that I used to do that I'm just not inclined now to go out to do. And I think that we've all lived through this year and a half, and it's going to take time for, as Judy called us, vintage. I'm not sure I like that.
It's better than aged and old.
Anyway, I think it'll come around. I just think for all of us, it's going to take time. If you have concrete suggestions, Catherine Green, Bob, you brought this up. Catherine Green is the chair of the Good Neighbor program. She has an assigned good neighbor on every wing. I don't know, there's about 12 or 14, however many wings we have. And they have certain responsibilities, certain things to do. They report back to her how many calls they've made during a period of time and some things like that. So if you have some concrete suggestions on what you would like to see the good neighbors doing, then you need to let Catherine Green know.
Barbara, where can we find a list of who those people are?
You'll have to get it from Catherine. It is not a publicized list.
Well, how do we contact them if we don't know who they are?
They are supposed to be contacting everyone in their wing and tell them that they're their good neighbor.
And I think we need a two-way conversation there. I had a
I
lady
think
who
you need
said,
to talk to Catherine Green.
okay, I had a lady who said she'd like to go out for a walk, but she doesn't know who she can walk with. And she wanted to find a partner, and she doesn't know how to do that. And I said,
Contact
well,
me. They can contact Ryan or contact me, and we'll put them in with somebody to walk.
Okay. I was just thinking that the residents could sort of work on that.
Are we
So
read it or what?
the residents could help each other out here without putting more burden on Judy. But yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Jan?
Bob?
Thank you, Bob. I'm a good neighbor and I appreciate what
Somebody.
Barbara has shared. We make contacts with our neighbors in the hallway, and I'm also on the hospitality committee, and we invite new residents to come to dinner. And so I'm in touch with a lot of new people and the people in my hallway, and we try to include them in everything we're doing. Some of them don't want that contact. Some of them are very recipient of that. And so we just have to go with the flow. But we're working at it, and Barbara knows that it's a good thing that we're doing, but we can't do it all. So we do need help, but please know that it is happening.
Okay, that's great.
Bob, can I say something? It's a two-way street too. The residents have to be willing. The new residents have to be willing to join in. And in some cases, it takes them a while to be ready to engage with other people. So we can't give up on them, but we got to give them time sometimes.
Patty, go ahead, Patty.
I wanted to say too, we have to also consider that many of the newcomers who have come in, not all, but many of them are people who have limitations because of health and because of their age. Yes. And we can't expect them to be involved at the same rate that some of the younger people are. Now, where I live on the third floor, we have 3 new people who have moved in. They're all 3 very active. But I also know others who have moved in, and because, as I said, of age and health reasons, they are not going to be as active. So we have to also look at what our population is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Don, you had a question? Don Baldwin?
I did. One of the things that is interesting to me is when our new residents come here, where are they from? What in common, what do I have with them? I think that Meredith Penner and our committee for meeting new residents could be very instrumental in saying, oh, let's see now, we have a new resident from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, who already lives here, who may have been or was in Oshkosh. We need to find things with which we have something in common with the incoming members. And then we can ask that person, and from there go on.
Right. One of the comments that Judy made in the chat was a problem we have in finding people who want to do the same thing, which is just like what you're talking, Don. At dinner, we talk about finding people who like to do the symphony as an example, but we really don't. Our communications have sort of been disrupted because we don't have a lot of these social venues, and wearing a mask, it sort of helps slow that thing down too. Judy's suggesting maybe we need to have a bulletin board somewhere, maybe in the Post or wherever, where people could post their interests and so forth. And Terry sort of said the same thing, put lists up in the post office wall. So we really need like maybe a whiteboard or something like that to say, hey, who's interested in going to the grocery store on Tuesday? And things like that. Barbara?
Don't put anything like that on that bulletin board that's already there. It is so crowded and there's so much stuff there. I just walk by it. I don't stop to see what all is there.
It's all boilerplate. I agree. Yes. So the other thing I wanted,
Judy Marsh.
Yeah.
From what was just said, have you ever thought about maybe doing a state? I don't know. I'm thinking state picnic like they used to do here in Anaheim. They did that for years, where they had Iowa picnics and things like that. And I know we can't do a picnic, but maybe some kind of a congregation by state, whether you went to school there, whether you lived there, whether you were born there. That might be interesting.
Sounds like a good idea, but I had the most wonderful jazz band here the other night. I had 25 people attend it. It was well promoted, well advertised. We're bringing it in and we're trying. I just need help on getting the rest to come to it. You don't have to go anywhere other than down to the courtyard.
Yeah.
So,
You could hear the music from the apartments, so you didn't have to go down there. It was wonderful. I agree. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Beautiful music. Yeah.
Great, beautiful entertainment for everybody. It's just I gotta figure out a way to get them out of their apartment.
Okay.
You
the other
just-
part. Go ahead. Is there another comment?
I'm hoping when we have the committee fair, that's going to get a lot of people out, because there are going to be a lot of prizes and just gifts and things like that, that it should be fun and it should be very interesting. And I'm hoping that will bring people out.
Okay, that's an idea. We need to promote these things.
Yeah, I'm gonna help promote that. So it's coming. You already got one note about it, but there'll be much more.
Yeah.
The other thing, idea I had was if we could somehow make dinners a little bit more social. One way of doing that would be to have more 6-top tables in the dining room, because if you only have 4 at a table, it's not the same as all the conversation you would have with 6 people at a table. And I talked to Nadine about it. She says, well, Kim's looking into that, but that was a month ago we asked for that.
Well, they've added one.
Yeah, they added one, but I think they could, we had 5 6-person tables, main dining room before COVID, and I think 3 in the veranda. And I don't think they were that crowded floor space, but I don't know. Someone have to get on
We're limited, I think.
Drawing.
Is Kim still here? I think they're limited to how many people they can put in the room. Is that right, Kim?
Yes, we still have to maintain distance between the tables, but we added the second table for 6, and many nights there's nobody sitting at that second table. I mean, if I added more of those round tables, I'm not confident that they would be filled.
Mhm.
A lot of,
I
a
would
lot of
try to-
people are deaf and cannot really be at a 6-person table. They can't really listen or participate. So we avoid inviting people with bad hearing problems to a table like that.
I was making a reservation the other night for a 4-top. I don't remember which night it was, maybe, I don't know, maybe Wednesday. And I was told there were no 4-tops still available that evening, but there was a 6-top. And so I took the 6-top and went out and found somebody else to join us.
There you go.
But I agree with Kim. I don't think they're really being used.
I think if they made them available for the community table, they'd be used. The community tables tend to fill real fast. So
Bob, the community table is a great way to get to know both newcomers and some people who've been here, because you don't know who you're going to be eating with, but it gives you a chance. You have something to do, so it's more comfortable socially for people who are a little shyer than it is to be asking them to knock on the door and invite somebody to go down with them someplace. You're eating your dinner, you're ordering. There's several people who are conversing, but it's a great place to get to know some of the newcomers who will join that. But also you learn things about people who've been here for a long time that you never knew before, because you've never had that kind of a conversation.
Sure. I think it's a good vehicle. I use it all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes I think I hog it and I deny other people from using it. But I don't have a social calendar to manage. I just let the hostess manage it for me. So
Well, one
Bob,
thing,
maybe
Bob,
you need-
about one thing bad about the organized events we have is all the people who know each other well sit together. So you could have events where people had to draw for wherever they sat. And so you have to sit with other people who are not your best friends or who are not your closest clique or whatever. That could help break up the mass. I mean, the big groups are great if you can just keep the group broken up enough now and then, so that people are actually trying to meet new people.
yeah, well, I don't know. There's so many things, so many initiatives. For instance, we used to have quarterly a meeting in the lounge of all the newcomers, and people had a chance to get around and shake their hand. That died, and it's still appropriate, but
I don't think it died. I think COVID has just kind of interfered with it.
I know it'd still be a nice way for the new people to get to meet more than just 1 or 2 people at a time. So, and we get to know them too. But unfortunately, with the face mask, it doesn't help. We only get to know their badge. So,
Bob, you've talked about inviting the newcomers out, new residents out and everything. How many times do you set up a table and invite the new residents?
Good question.
I have. It's not. That's just not in my culture, unfortunately. But I'm a victim or a person who admits that I haven't been doing my fair share there. But
One of the things that I thought of one time was when we were having the newsletter that came out quarterly. And since we don't have that at this time, it could be something that could be just put out in one of the, maybe once a month or twice a month in the one of the papers coming out, weekly papers. And that's Who Am I? Where you maybe have a picture from years ago, or maybe you don't even put a picture, but you write, you get someone would have to kind of be in charge, and you get information about a person, about their background, about their interests, whatever it is that they want to share, and you write it up, and then you say, who am I? And
Are you
can even-
volunteering?
not right at this point. I'm not. I have
Don't put
more than
anything
full.
else. Don't put anything else on Judy.
No, this is-
Well, I'm
this-
not even saying
No,
Judy
this-
has
this is
to
a
do it.
This is a staff marketing responsibility because if you follow some other retirement villages, they have a quarterly bulletin they put out showing all the activities that they send to prospectives, and they have typically a little here's a little profile of the new members, new people, which they circulate for internal use. And I can show you some because I've been on a mailing list for a couple of these places. Wonderful, sure stuff, and I think that should be budgeted as part of the marketing group. Terry?
And one thing that would really draw people into it is if we had something, like if we did it once a month, and it wouldn't be just new people coming in, it would be some of the older people that have been here. And just like Judy gives out the $5 gift certificates from Target, if people know that they get if their name is chosen for getting the right answer, you'll get a lot of people participating.
Make a contest out, I see, yeah. Terry, go ahead.
Thank you. I don't know how many of you are paying attention to the chat, but Judy Phillips has been making some very good comments.
Yes, she is.
We seem to have some couple of conversations going on the chat board at the same time we have on this board. So maybe some of you might want to read the chat areas to catch on.
I'm trying to do that, Terry, but it's this is like our three-ring circus here, so.
I understand, but the point has been raised that maybe staff could find a place outside of the post office to be a community board, because several people have pointed out there is no room in the post office to post notes.
Well, there's a big hall outside.
I'll take the responsibility of finding someplace. I'll talk with Nadine and Teresa and see if we can't find a spot and put up a board.
Okay.
I think there's a problem with mixing here. I mean, people are not meeting people they don't already know. I mean, especially for newcomers, I think it's the hardest. But my impression is you need to break up the groups that are already here and bring them in that way so that there's more like mixers type stuff, but not like in a bar or something. It more like in a dinner event or that kind of thing.
Well, we need to make it, give them incentives and make them feel like they're part of the team, not giving any new rules. That's part of this delicate way of trying to manage people without, over dictating.
Yeah, you don't want to manipulate people though. They're not going to like it.
I think in some way we're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah,
because there are a lot of us.
These are the guys who can do things for us.
But there are a lot of us on here who invite all the newcomers to dinner, the new residents, and we're doing that.
Okay.
It's reaching out to the other current residents to get them to do it also. Because I get tired of trying to put together a table for every night of the week.
I agree.
Sure.
I understand that. I don't
I'll get
disagree
it.
with you. Okay. So let's see. We're running just about close to the end of the thing. So let's wrap up this discussion and see what we can. Is Judy's going to take on a lot of these things back to Nadine? Of course, Nadine's going to listen to our recording of this too. Any final comments you want to make? Go, Judy. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to tell everybody that we have the Front Porch State of the Organization virtual presentation the other day. Lauren has put it up onto channel 81, and it's going to run at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, September 28th, Thursday, September 30th, Friday, October 1st, and Saturday, October 2nd at 7 o'clock. And there will be, there'll be a flyer on that'll go out to you on Monday giving you these times.
But also it's on YouTube anyway.
It's on YouTube too, but not everybody knows how to do that, but they know how to go to channel 81.
They could also send us email in our emails easily, since they have all of our registrations.
They don't all have.
This is what Life Enrichment has done with it. So whatever else out there, you know, they can go to YouTube, and I think they've all received that link.
Okay, final comments, Barbara?
I just want to let Terry and you know that this is the first time in several weeks, and I have locked up about 3 or 4 times this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
And it hasn't happened for 2 or 3 weeks.
And I'm in the courtyard and I locked up.
And I want to mention that during the chicken dance, there was a lot of lockups where the voice did not match
What's
pictures.
I just meant I went dead.
Okay, well,
I don't think I've ever had a walk-up.
Okay, go ahead, Don. Last comments here. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
One of the comments was about posting stuff in the post. If we follow the rules of the road, anything posted more than 30 days should come down.
In the book.
And my site for that is a March 21 book entry. My second suggestion is somebody brought up the idea of random seating. I think that's a great idea. I would suggest that, for example, if we take a particular time period, like the first week of the month, everybody who comes into the dining room gets a number, and that number matches a table that has been assigned that number. And whether or not you like it, too bad, that's where you sit. I know Barbara's anxious to answer that, but I'm saying we got to find some way to mix our staff and our programs and our people.
They're finished.
Right.
Go ahead, Barb.
I think that's a great idea, Don. However, I think that people should sign up maybe to participate in this, because we have several people here who would not go for that at all. Not me. I'd be all willing to do it. But we do have people here who would not be willing to do that.
I agree.
You know what I would say? Too bad, they're going to miss a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, right, I agree
You
with
could do it for planned events, the big general community events. We could do it.
I'm suggesting only for a specific time. You don't have to be bound
Because
to this forever.
As it is, the dining room is complicated enough. There are already variations in the seating. There are people going in at different times. It's too complicated already.
One of the great things about being here, Michelle, is mental challenges. And we need some of them to keep us sharp.
Yeah.
Good for you, Don.
It's that we don't need more mental challenges for the staff, though, in the dining room. What we need is something more general than that. Some big meeting room where we're going to have an event all together.
We used to have a host that played matchmaker all the time, and that's gone. And it's a shame when you see people getting seated as singles at the same time and no attempt to try to put them into a table.
Right.
Things like that should the host should
I saw that the other night. I saw
I will volunteer for Don's random table idea.
Yeah.
She's a relatively new resident. I saw it the other night where we saw her eating alone. And after dinner, there were 2 of us at our table that went over and asked her to have dinner with us at a different night.
Good.
There are lots of people that eat alone, and it's always been that way from what I see. And it's not just a few. I've seen different people do it at different times. So
You realize
Judy
it's not
Phillips
that
has
unusual.
Judy Phillips has agreed with my idea. I think I'm going to adopt her.
do you realize in the employee handbook that the staff publishes, reservations are not required? You only go up there to find, find me a table at a given time, and the host is supposed to find you a table.
So great. Going to walk in.
Change a lot of those rules, obviously. But we trying to figure out. We should be
I say
reservation.
walk in, stick your hand in the bubble, take out a number, and that's where you sit tonight.
Kim, would it work at all to have one night of the week set up as random seating?
No, it'd
And I
have to
don't
be a
wanna put more
random
on the
night.
staff.
It'd have to have people a little off balance.
So
It's-
in order for us to best serve you, based on the number of servers we have each night, we can only divvy up the tables by the number of servers. So, I mean, people would still have to come in at 15-minute intervals, and they're right now the most popular time to eat is at 5:30.
Right.
And the cutoff point, we can only accept so many people at 5:30. So we could do random, but we would still need to seat people at 15-minute intervals.
Could they make a reservation for 5:15, 5:30, whatever, for the maximum number, but know that that night there's going to be random seating?
Yes, that would work.
Interesting.
why don't-
That's an idea.
Give it some thought. This is all in the right spirit. We're not trying to condemn each other, but we are trying to, see if we can get that spirit back alive, even though we have to live with COVID. And who knows how long we're gonna have to live with COVID? So it's one of those things. Okay, I have a couple of things I want to show you, so we can sign off. A few smiles on our face. Let's see. Like Judy says, brainstorming is good, and maybe we need to have a brainstorming kind of get together to do this kind of thing. I'm not sure. So I wanted to just show you how one of the things I did this week. I've been talking about silver sneakers, and I was trying to get into a new exercise program. This week, I ended up going down the gym 3 times, and I felt so good about that. So I said, well, what we really need to have is a lot more exercise programs to get ourselves excited about exercise. So here's one that if you start really early as a young girl, maybe you could get up to the speed. So let me see if I can get this done right.
是个为关注一腔热血，斗精神牢记我心。中华功夫一心流传千年，情怀在天豪气冲天。一朝一世定格物，百年将兴龙传承。挥洒汗水，铸就一身正气，天南地北走天下。
So that was one of them that I want to show you. Stop. And the other one I wanted to show you was, of course, after you've had a hard day in the gym, you want to have some relaxation. So here's how a dog is treated at the spa.
What's
The dog, he's on top of the dog.
I don't know if you treat your dog this way. That's something there. So okay, so that's a little smiles for you to go home with. I got a couple of cartoons to show you also if you want. If you want to hang in here. See if I can find. Oh yeah, they are. So we have a few smiles. You go with here. Let's see. Here we go. And here we go. There we go. So we have the guys in the Army says, yes, Smith, yes, sir. I didn't see you at the camouflage practice today. Thank you, sir. You understand that, right? How often do people die during this procedure? Only once. Oh my gosh, Susan, can you imagine how luxurious planes will 50 years will be? And they're showing how they are getting a Coke and a pretzel. And this is a great one. When I was a boy, Mom had said, send me down to a corner store with $1 and I come back with 5 potatoes, 2 loaves of bread, 3 bottles of milk, a hunk of cheese, a box of tea, and 6 eggs. Can't do that today. Too many freaking security cameras. I hope you understand what's going on here. So, technology is making us antisocial because all these kids are watching their phones. But oh wait, it used to be that everybody's just reading the newspapers. So what's the difference? And let's see. Here we go. Beware of smartphone zombies. They're walking across the street watching their phones.
Bob, you have a lot of static on your audio.
One, may I have a plastic bag for my fish? And she says, it's already inside the fish. And then here's the one where the slaves are building the pyramids. This is murder, but at least people thousands of years from now will appreciate the effort and skill it took to build these pyramids. And of course, the slave says, aliens did that. And here's for all the pilots. Why did you want to be a pilot? To overcome my biggest fear, heights? No, just dying alone. And this is a great one. I'd like a Pepsi. We have Coke. Okay, I'll take a gram of that and a Pepsi. You understand that, all right? Okay. All righty, well, that's I think we had a lot of good discussion today. There's a lot of actions we could be doing, but there's a lot of little initiatives that we could probably work on to keep this place a happy place. And so I hope we're all going to work on that. Have a good day.
Thank you.